When Franz Kafka said that the youth is happy because it has the capacity to see beauty, he acknowledged a fundamental truth about being young, a perspective with the ability to see the world in all of the glory that it could be, a sense of idealism so strong that it often melts into ambition, because eventually that's what change requires. Hope and ambition that goes on to create a legacy. This change, driven by the youth, forms the heart of India Global Forum's Young Leaders Forum. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. With a population of nearly 1.5 billion and an average age of just under 29, India is by far one of the youngest countries in the world. Allow me to reiterate that. The largest group of its populace inhabits classrooms, offices, and platforms just like this one. This means that we, the youth, are responsible for driving and globalizing this country and taking it to new heights. Characterized by its entrepreneurial spirit and aided by its technological proficiency, the youth of India has been instrumental to make India the third largest startup economy in the world. The surge in economic growth has profound impacts on job creation, healthcare, education, and even leveraging innovation for social impact. We are forming a new age of the workforce. We are building a new India. With a history of stimulating and critical discourse in its years so far, India Global Forum has opened its doors to this young demographic, and this is only the beginning. We have a lot of insight to look forward to here, from panels that facilitate an exchange of prospective thoughts and ideas, youth-led innovation, entrepreneurship, and community development. But the reason that this confluence has been possible is because of our visionary founder, the pioneer behind India Global Forum, Professor Manoj Ladwa. Manoj sir is a visiting faculty member at Birmingham City University. He is a founder member and the first president of the National Hindu Students Forum, and served as the communication director for Prime Minister Modi's epic 2014 election campaign. His ambition and the change it brought with it forge a path for every young Indian to tread. Sir, before I invite you on stage, I'd like to share one quote. And this is an age-old quote that we've all heard. If you want to feed a man for a day, you give him a fish. If you want to feed a man for a lifetime, you teach him to fish. And I'm sure we've all heard that before. But the new take, the young take on this is, if you want to feed a man for a day, you give him a fish. If you want to feed a man for a lifetime, you teach him to fish. But if you want to feed that man and a generation that follows him, you don't teach him to fish, but to build a fishing rod. Thank you for giving us this platform and equipping us with the skills to be able to build fishing rods. Please join me in welcoming on stage our founder, Professor Manoj Ladwa. In conversation with Ms. Aarti Subramaniam.
I've never been introduced like that, so I'm a little blown over. But thanks a lot, Aditya.
Thanks, Aditya. Manoj, thank you so much for being under the spotlight. And, I think everybody here really appreciates this initiative, this effort. And I'll tell you one thing, I've seen Manoj in front of a lot of cabinet ministers, I've seen him in front of some prime ministers, but I've never seen him this excited and dare I even say a little nervous as you are today.
Especially being interrogated by you and such an eminent audience. But no, I am hugely excited. I'm excited that this is the first of so many events across the next few days that celebrates the UK and India partnership. And what better to have a group of change makers to kick off UK India Week. Can I actually make a complaint? And Aditya and team, I hope you don't mind me saying this, but I don't agree with this title. You need to delete the word future from it. Guys, you are the change makers. It's not something in the past. You've got the opportunity here and now. So,
Yeah, now we do have current change makers in our midst here, and a lot of them are, I think, at a very critical stage in their life. We have a lot of students here from various colleges. They are going to be entering a professional sphere. They're going to be starting their professional careers soon. What is the advice that you would like to give them? Because it is a very treacherous, unknown terrain.
why?
Because when you're studying, it's great. Life is great. When you start working, or even the process of finding a job, it isn't very easy. And they'll discover that soon.
So I have actually a contrarian view. You know, it's been trendy to talk about work-life balance. For me, it's never been, the two have never actually been separate. I'm most happiest when I'm working, but I don't look at it as work. I look at it as a hobby, a passion, something I really feel I'm contributing and enjoying. And so the journey isn't treacherous. The journey is, there's obstacles along the way, but it's a challenge.
It could be a generational gap, the way you approach work and the way they approach work.
I don't know. I think you guys have got it better than anybody else for the simple reason that I see this generation has you have so much at your fingertips, so much knowledge, so much information. We'd have to go and, find books in the library. When we were growing up, you've just got to tap it and it's all there. The question or the challenge for you is how you distill that and put that into a route map for yourself in terms of your career, how do you bring that into a way in which that just enriches your journey ahead without getting, overloaded or confused. Mm-hmm. I think overload is probably the issues that you guys, well, I'm really excited for this generation.
Yeah. There are a lot of terms, sorry for that, there are a lot of terms about this generation, right? They use the word Gen Z, Gen X, I don't know which category you fall in or I fall in.
I don't understand any of them.
I don't understand. So let's just use the broad term youngsters or the youth. We can all agree on that one. What is it that your generation can offer them?
Look, I think every generation has a context within which they live and which they work, and the challenges that they have and how they overcome that. And there are always certain lessons that one can pass on to the next generation. But I'll tell you, I go by a motto every year with our team, my team at India Global Forum. And that is, this year, let's make new mistakes. Okay? Let's make mistakes, but let's make new mistakes. Learn from what you've messed up the year before or the year before that, and then let's make new mistakes. So, though there are certain philosophies or certain approaches for me, like I believe, and the title of UK India Week is Leading with Purpose. You've got to have some purpose in anything you do to make it really fulfilling. But ultimately, I think every young person should have the freedom and also the support around that freedom to make your own mistakes. Why do you want to make my mistakes for? You guys have got so many other things to do in life.
You're a founder, you're a chairman, you're a businessman, you're a professor. How do you see the youth playing an important role in amplifying India's voice? How is it that we can harness their enthusiasm, their technical expertise, and their technological know-how?
See, the thing is that it's it's very easy to become quickly skeptical about things, especially if you look and read the media every day. And trying to maintain some degree of positivity without papering over issues that may happen, there are there. But for me, the most important thing is to see the glass half full. So with India Global Forum, we are on a mission to present the very best of India to the world, because there's lots of other people that will present the very worst. And so it sort of balances out and people figure it out. Because I see lots of opportunities, and Aditya has alluded to the fact that we have India has such a young population. It has it will be, and it is the fastest growing major economy in the world. And within the next 25 years, India will account for 25% of the global workforce and probably around 35 to 40% of the technological workforce of the world. If that's not the huge opportunity that needs to be told, and that story needs to be told, then what is? As far as some practical things, if I look at my own journey, I started making notes when I was very young about observations, people I met, things I saw, and how I'd say something differently, do something differently, etc. Then that turned into writing regular columns in newspapers, and to just express my views. That led to opportunities to speak on different platforms. And the first rule is assume that nobody's listening to you. That gives you a lot more confidence and able to say what you want to say. But I would say to every young person here is that start to purposely write, meaningfully write. Yes, you do your scroll up, scroll down, swipe left, swipe right, whatever you guys do on social media, but try and pick out at least some things during the course of the day within your social media activities where you can perhaps give a more considered view on a topic and just start talking about it. I'm not going to, I'll leave you to figure out those areas that are of interest to you. But don't be afraid to counter something you feel that is abjectly wrong. But what we do at India Global Forum is to do that through, you can see it's an open speech mark, so it's an open conversation. Mm-hmm. So that's what we encourage people to do, and that's what you'll see all this week.
Yeah. And we have joined the conversation. That's what we ask everyone to do, join the conversation. So let's have a few of them join in the conversation. I know that there are a lot of questions that some of them have for you, so be prepared. And I think if anyone has any questions, please feel free to raise your hand. We can send across a mic. I think Aditya has one to begin with.
Where is Aditya? Yeah. Okay, here you are. No media questions, by the way, Aditya.
So I think the first question has got to be, we as young Indian students studying in the UK, many of us look to study here and also settle here. And that's not just true for the UK, but also different countries where we go on to pursue our higher studies. Do you think that's a little bit of a challenge as a brain drain for India? And if it is, how do you suggest we can make the most of preserving that talent and taking India global?
I don't agree with the concept of a brain drain in this technologically interconnected world. Wherever you are in the world, you can contribute to India, to democracy, to the values that we share. They're here in the UK and India. So Indians living abroad, and Prime Minister Modi has been the biggest proponent of reaching out to the Indian diaspora and tapping into their experiences and their skills around the world for the contribution to contribute back into India. So I don't think physical location's important. I do think mental location's important, though, connecting back in some way. And the experiences you get around the world, and the Indian diaspora is the largest diaspora in the world, second only to the Iraqi diaspora, my friends here from Iraq, the largest diaspora. So virtually every country in the world has people of Indian origin, often in very prominent positions, like we have the Prime Minister here. And they will bring perspectives back to India's growth and India's growth story that will only enrich. And we've got the makings of the most powerful LinkedIn ever. So somebody, whoever's looking at a startup, do an India LinkedIn. I think you'll do well.
And as they say, "Fir bhi dil hai Hindustani," right? So wherever you go,
Fir
your
bhi
heart,
dil hai Hindustani.
yeah, that's your heart's always Indian.
They can't relate to that.
Oh, I think it's too. I apologize. That's a very old movie reference. I take it back. Yeah, someone else, I think, had a question
to the back of it.
at the back there. Sorry. Yes.
So it was great listening to you. So my question is like, in your journey, like who are your mentors and guide, like who have helped you reach these heights?
See, I'm glad you used the word mentors and guides because there are so many. When you're a child, it's your mother, your father, your siblings, your uncles, aunts, and then as you get your teachers, and then when you get into your work, it'll be somebody that's senior to you, etc. Then you have this passion to become a tennis player one day and a footballer the next and a cricketer the next. So it's Virat Kohli or it's whoever else it may be. So along the way you pick up, and what I've noticed is that there's very rarely a constant, but what you do find is that based upon your interest, you veer towards people that you want to emulate. So they're role models. And the mistake we make in this sort of conversation is that it always has to be somebody that's hugely successful, somebody that's elder to you, somebody that's richer than you, and all of the rest of it. My experience is that people that have been mentors to me have been the most quiet, ordinary people that are there. And for me, virtually every day, when I look at my team, in some way or other, they are guiding me, mentoring me. Aditya, Shaurya, Aishwarya, you guys have put all of this together. That's given me a lot of lessons in life. It gave me, for example, 2 weeks ago, I think you guys didn't have a program, you didn't have people coming and so on. And then now you've oversubscribed by double. That was because of your positivity. I was pretty, what the hell are these guys going to achieve and what they're going to do? I was, they'll figure it out. And the way in which they figured it out has given me a significant degree of positivity. The other thing about you guys giving us rather than the other way around is that, and I go back to the point about cynicism, as you go elder in life, you become more and more cynical because you've seen so many difficult challenges and issues and so on. But the lens with which you're looking at things, hopefully, is very strong, very positive, very, very futuristic. And you just got to try and keep that up throughout life. That, for me, spurs me on the most. So I haven't really answered your question as to who exactly it is and what it is. But I think it's more the concept of mentorship rather than the people. And you've got to have a broad category, so. I don't believe in a guru. Gurus. Okay.
Keep yourself open to inspiration from everyone and everywhere, right?
And that's our Indian philosophy. That is our Indian philosophy. Let noble thoughts come from all sides.
I think we might have time for one last question, and then we have to wrap up. I think there's somebody there who has, yeah.
Hi, thank you so much. So I am a change consultant and I work with the UK government here. And I would love in any way to give back to the country, India, that's given me everything that I have today. So I regularly work with the Cabinet Office and HMRC here in the UK, and I'll be very interested to learn from your experience working, with Narendra Modi and how to crack into diplomacy and kind of strengthen the ties between the country here with UK and India.
Look, you mentioned Prime Minister Modi and so on. In all of these years that I've known him, he's never actually told me to do anything. But his sheer presence and his sheer, influence guides you to want to try and do new things, want to try and... My request would be two or three things. Firstly is to identify yourself with one particular issue, cause, purpose that resonates with you, and see that to a logical conclusion through connecting with other like-minded people within that ecosystem. So identify with something. So for me, my identification was all about communicating India to the world. That was my concept. And that led me to say, well, how am I going to do that? Let me try and bring a few people together. You bring a few people together and you say, well, let's do a seminar. From a seminar, it became a conference. From a conference, it's become this institution, which is India Global Forum. And you'll see that it has, as you bring like-minded people together, it really makes that journey worthwhile. Secondly is it's important that you always stay true to your values as well. And there will be people that will be, try to take you off course or wish you, ill will and so on and say, that's crazy, why are you doing that? And so on. I would say that perseverance is really important in anything you do. Whether you're sitting exams and you flunk one, do it again. Life throws up many, many chances and opportunities. So that's that. Then the third thing is that join us. Become part of India Global Forum, and we are announcing today that we're going to be starting a India Global Forum Fellowship as well. We have an internship program that we've been running for some time, and we'll actually be formally launching later in the year in September. But between now and September, we're going to be looking at you guys to provide ideas and suggestions, but part of that will be a mentorship program, part of that will be an internship program as well, both within IGF, but also we're talking to corporate partners as well. So whilst you're studying, you'll get the opportunity to do a variety of different things that hits with the ethos of IGF as well. So that's it. But congratulations, you're working in one of the most exciting departments in government, the Cabinet Office.
And just to everyone, all the students, I was in the same boat 5 years ago, so I do understand the job markets are tough, but I would just say perseverance, that's the key to crack on into anything, really. Yeah, good luck to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks for your question. Manoj, thank you so much for that. I think that was very enlightening, and I'm sure they've picked up quite a bit from that. We're going to have to leave it at that because we have an amazing program ahead of us, this very first edition of the Young Leaders Forum. So thank you, Manoj. Thanks so much for agreeing to be under the spotlight, and of course for launching, and with this event, we're launching UK India Week.
No, they wanted me to do a lecture, and I thought, you're probably fed up of lectures throughout the year, so I thought it would be nice to have a quick chat and just say hi to everybody and join us, be part of the IGF journey. Thank you very much. Okay.